It's hard to imagine how Muslims must feel when the only representation of their culture in Western media depicts them as violent terrorists or oppressed women with no voice of their own. The images that you see on the screen were all sourced through a simple Google search of Muslim actors in media. These images inundated the Google search, and it was extremely difficult to find an image that didn't have reference to violence, terror, weapons, or villains. In the article by Driss Ridwani published in 2011, on page 1 of his article, he states, "The Western representation of Muslims and Arabs is not a recent fabrication, but rather it has been deep-rooted in the West conceptualization ever since the first contacts with Arabs and Muslims." He further states in his article that the West preserve a persisting stereotype of Muslims and Arabs, often presenting them as an alien, other, or rather enemy. Ridwani, 2011, page 1. This screen recording highlights further the contrasting ideas to how Muslims are portrayed in an oppressive manner. As you can see, when I typed into Google images of protagonists in movies, there was a range of different characters, some being the heroes in movies, some being lovers. It was a range. However, when I typed up Muslims in movies, I had hoped that it would show a range of characters here too. However, as you can see, what flooded my screen was very different to what I had hoped. There seemed to be many different actors, however they all played the same role. Evil, violent terrorists holding weapons and an evil look about them. Sophia Yusuf and Fazar Hassan's journal article published in 2013 reinstates the role that the media plays in conveying societal views on minorities. Throughout page 105 of the article, it reinstates, "The role of media is to shape opinions and present a particular version as reality." Yusuf and Hassan, 2013, page 105. I agree with this quote from their peer-reviewed article, and I believe that when looking at this Google search in light to this, it becomes quite evident the stereotype and societal views that the media is trying to convey. Although it is expected that Western media would portray a fair, truthful picture, as we can see through these images in Google search, this is definitely not the case. I have chosen to explore the blockbuster movie American Assassin, as this movie has recently been released in 2017. However, in almost all of the movies and TV series that include Muslim actors, they are always playing the same character and portrayed in the same way. Such as in the movie American Assassin, all of the Muslim actors are portrayed as terrorists. You can see in these images that they're usually holding guns and appear to be quite violent. Also in these images, you can see that Arabic writing and quotes to religions such as the Angel Gabriel are used as a form to show terrorism. In this movie, along with various other blockbuster movies, it is often the Muslim characters that are the enemy. However, I've never seen an Islamic person that is the protagonist or the hero in Western media. This becomes very dangerous, as stated by Rabina Ramji within her Journal of Religion and Film. As stated on page 1 of her article, she states, "As viewers, we tend to accept many of the images on screen as somehow truly reflective of the universal truths of the world in which we live." Ramji, 2009, page 1. When we think of this quote and we think to the images that we are presented to on screens in regards to Islam adherence, you can begin to understand the detrimental effect that this has on their lives. Here we have a list of the most common stereotypes depicted through Western media. Ramji further states on page 3 of her article, "The news media and the film industry, thought to give a more or less accurate depiction of the world, plays a large part in sustaining stereotypical images as representative of the whole culture of Islam." Ramji, 2009, page 3. These stereotypical views impact society's feelings and attitudes towards the Islamic culture, encouraging society to have a negative perception of both Islam and Muslim individuals, which they feel justifies their disrespectful, oppressive, and harmful behaviour towards the minority group. As you can see through these statistics, a large number of Western individuals hold unfavourable feelings towards Islam and Muslim individuals. As you can see on the left here, 41% of US adults feel that Islam encourages violence more than other faiths. This is heavily influenced by media, movies. The public media, in terms of the news media and movies, is the biggest influence on societal views and attitudes. By presenting the stereotypes that they do in movies, it enhances attitudes of exclusion and oppression towards Islamic individuals. Within the journal article written by Ahmed Safuddin, he conducted various research looking further into how much of an impact the media has on society attitudes towards Muslims. Throughout pages 279 to 306, he presents his findings, stating, survey results from a sample of 345 non-Muslim individuals revealed a significant association between media as the primary source of information and a negative attitude towards Muslims and Islam. His research further identified that individuals with a close association with a Muslim friend stated that the media influences were negative. However, those without stated that these influences were positive. Safuddin, 2012, pages 279 to 306. The public media. If the media is used as an effective tool, it can be used to encourage societal views of inclusion on minority groups and not leading them to oppression.